I'm Aaron Friedman, and this is Politodoxy. Today's topic, Donald Trump. We have seen the rise of Donald Trump and how he has been scammed out of the presidency by all the major institutions of the United States. The constant lying about Donald Trump, who he is, and what he is doing, deprived the American public of knowing everything there is to know about Donald Trump. Now, believe it or not, this has also happened on the other side of the aisle with the conservatives, that they don't know everything there is to know about Donald Trump. So I want to discuss here exactly what we need to know about Donald Trump and how we keep him in line going forward if indeed he is going to be the president of the United States again. Now, the number one most important thing there is to know about Donald Trump is that he did not build the wall. The signature promise of his campaign was not fulfilled. He built 47 miles of wall and replaced 400 miles, but he did not build the wall. As he promised, 47 miles is absolutely pitiful. And no matter how much you love Donald Trump, you have to admit it to yourself, and only then we can start fixing the problem. Now, I've seen Donald Trump's latest ad where he talks about the border. The problem is he did not mention a wall at all. He did not say he built a wall, nor did he say he would continue building a wall. This is highly alerting. Trump needs to know that his base wants to build a wall. He can't go back to the language of the neocons back to 2008. We need to go back to 2016 language. We are going to build a wall. And this time, Donald Trump will have to put in people who are not only loyalists, but who are also effective and not afraid to be unapologetic. We've all seen exactly what happened when Donald Trump tried to build the wall, and he was undermined at every turn. Now, of course, this is a point to be made, and people who are concerned about me not pointing it out, here it is. Yes, he was undermined, but being ineffective is not an excuse. Regardless of people who will undermine Donald Trump, he needs to get over this. He can't say, well, I tried. Well, that's not good enough. It's either you do or you don't, and you go home. Now, the most successful part of the Trump presidency was his foreign policy. Oddly enough, when he was supposed to be America first domestically, he was somewhat American first on foreign policy. But the problem is, the whole point of Donald Trump was taking care of the American citizens first domestically, not taking care of the world's problems. Having the embassy in Jerusalem is nice and all, but this isn't why we elected Donald Trump in the first place. Now, of course, I will give credit where credit is due. He did boost the economy and did bring back jobs in certain places, but it was nearly not good enough. We need more effectiveness from the top branches of our government, and Trump needs to be reminded of that. I don't care how big his ego is. Every single Trump supporter needs to be able to criticize Donald Trump when he deviates from the message. He needs to be put back in line. As we have seen him giving away to the Democrats whatever they wanted on gun control, when Trump said, quote, "I like taking the guns early. Take the guns first. Go through due process second. Some of you are petrified of the NRA. They have great power over you people. They have less power over me. What do I need?" Unquote. And then he gave for the Democrats what they wanted on the bump stocks and banned them. And he did not get anything in return. That's the art of the deal for you. During the 2016 campaign, Trump said of Dreamers, as illegal aliens call themselves, quote, "I want Dreamers to come from the United States. I want the people in the United States that have children. I want them to have dreams also. We're always talking about Dreamers for other people." Unquote. 1 month into his office, Trump said of Dreamers, quote, "We're gonna deal with them with heart. You have these incredible kids, some absolutely incredible kids." Unquote. So much for getting illegals, quote, "out of here so fast your head will spin." Unquote. So we have seen Trump deviate from the message when his ego would get in the way. Now, of course, Trump's ego could also be a powerful weapon that could be utilized, as a matter of fact, should be utilized in the correct way. We need to make sure that Donald Trump gets it, that if he's going to be president again, he needs to listen to his supporters and get the illegals out. Do not listen to the Democrats. Do not make any compromises with them. He has already given them all that they need. Now it's our turn. Now, of course, when Trump says we're gonna get out of all these foreign wars, yes, that's also American first. But what we really need is him focusing on the cultural matters. Get out of the wars and focus on our cultural problems. And some of the rhetoric from Trump I actually like and has been pretty good. But he needs to really follow up on that, because he did have his chance when he was president. Why didn't he do those things when he was president? Well, you might say he was undermined. Yes, I understand he was undermined, but how do we know he won't be undermined this time? If there is one thing Trump has proven, is that he could be manipulated by people who have the worst intentions for our country. That's why we have to keep him in check. We have to be the ones responsible for what happens with Donald Trump. We need to be able to criticize him, and constructively, not to demonize him, but constructively criticize his moves when he makes bad moves. Otherwise, he will, as a matter of fact, give everything for the Democrats that they want. And here is the most important problem that Trump is facing. Ron DeSantis. And no, it's not Ron DeSantis running against him, it's him demonizing Ron DeSantis. Look at what he's doing with all these mindless attacks. And yes, they're absolutely mindless. Why are you attacking one of your greatest allies? Why are you attacking another fellow conservative who is to the right of you? Take any issue, Donald Trump is left of Ron DeSantis. But regardless of how right-wing Ron DeSantis is, we see all these disgusting things that are being taught to school children. We see where our culture is headed. We see all these terrible things that is happening. What is Trump doing? Oh, he's demonizing DeSantis. Excuse me, we have a lot of other things to worry about. We will cross that bridge once we get there. We will figure out if Ron DeSantis runs or not later in the future, 1 year from now, if he decides to run, which hopefully it doesn't, because him running against Donald Trump, these are two great powerful voices in the conservative movement, and the last thing we need is division within the movement. But at the moment, right now, he is not running. Why are you calling him names? Why are you attacking him? Why are you saying that Charlie Crist is better than Ron DeSantis? What? This is Donald Trump's ego getting in the way. Trump is just mad that Ron DeSantis is more conservative than him. And instead of his supporters saying, hey Trump, how about you be more conservative than Ron DeSantis? No, he's not going to do that. He's going to attack Ron DeSantis. I've heard the other arguments about, well, look at who's supporting Ron DeSantis. A lot of establishment type figures are supporting Ron DeSantis. Well, okay, first of all, let's look who's supporting Donald Trump. Lindsey Graham. Oh, great neocon, right? So we could play this game. I could list out all of the people who we all hate in the Republican Party who are supporting Donald Trump and play this same stupid game. Who is supporting whom? Well, it doesn't matter who's supporting whom. The point is, who are the candidates? So saying, well, these liberals and these people are supporting Ron DeSantis. It doesn't matter. What is his message? It really doesn't matter who is being supported by. But here's another point to be made. Also, let's look who hates him. Well, the mainstream media. They absolutely hate Ron DeSantis more than Donald Trump. We've seen this. They've been making Ron DeSantis look worse than Trump. They've been redrawing history, saying that Donald Trump, he was bad, yes, but he also had some kind of charisma to him. But Ron DeSantis, he has this slimy look. I don't remember exactly where I've read this. I think it was the Washington Post that tried to make Donald Trump look, okay, yes, he was bad, but not as bad as Ron DeSantis. So now they're actually more afraid of Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis made Florida what it is right now, a Republican stronghold, not Donald Trump. Now, of course, there is credit to be given to Donald Trump for picking out Ron DeSantis in 2018, making him governor just from the primary itself. He made Ron DeSantis, okay? We all know this. Yes, credit to Donald Trump where credit is due. But there is two sides to this story. Donald Trump needs to focus on what is important, not attacking Ron DeSantis. He could be more conservative, get more in touch with his base, be more powerful in his voice, and be more effective in his rhetoric. Then you will see that Ron DeSantis is not running at all. But this constant attacking of Ron DeSantis, saying other Democrats are better than Ron DeSantis, this only shows that Trump's ego is a thing that needs to be fixed. And to be honest, Ron DeSantis is much more effective than Donald Trump. Ooh, how dare I say that? Well, it is true. Now I get it. Trump was president, he was on the federal level, Ron DeSantis is on the state level. They're different beasts. I get it. I understand that. But let's not act as if Florida was this great bastion of conservatism before Ron DeSantis. He almost lost the election to a drug addict Democrat, and Florida had its own swamp of Democrats undermining DeSantis. But DeSantis got over it, and he dealt with it how every other president should deal with such problems. Ron DeSantis was effective where Trump wasn't, and that is something Trump has to get over. He needs to be able to show that he is effective. He needs to be able to show that he deserves another chance. And all these people who are supporting Trump and making all the DeSantis supporters look like, oh, they are stupid, they are dumb, they don't understand, they think Ron DeSantis is their savior. Well, the same things could be said about you, but this is a real debate that should be had. Why are we trying to demonize our fellow conservatives who think maybe we should go with Ron DeSantis? Well, maybe we should. It's a debate that we should have. We should stop attacking each other. We have bigger fish to fry here. I'm not making a case for one or the other. I'm pointing out what has to happen if Donald Trump really wants to be re-elected president of the United States and make sure that Ron DeSantis doesn't steal his thunder. And the only way we make sure if Donald Trump is going to be the next president of the United States, and we make sure that Donald Trump will be held to his promises, and he again needs to start talking again about the wall. He has stopped talking about it. Now we're back to 2008. Congratulations, everybody. We're regressing. We are regressing back to 2008 politics where we talk about secure border. I don't want to hear about secure border. That is 2008 talk. I want to hear about a wall. I want to hear how tall that wall is going to be. I want to hear how many illegals are we going to start deporting, and start with the dreamers. They go first, not the criminals, because the criminals, we will get to them. But the dreamers, they demand citizenship. They have such loud voices. We need to get rid of it. We need to get rid of them because they don't get to dictate to us what happens to them. We, as the American citizenry, we get to decide. And they came in illegally. We get to deport them. So they must go first. The loudest must go the first. Then we get down to the criminals. It'll be a much more harder point for the Democrats to make on why the criminals should stay. But first we get rid of the dreamers. So-called. And Donald Trump really needs to hear this. He really needs to be controlled by his base. Not by the special interests. And not by the people who are surround him and make him deviate from the message. We need to be in control of this situation. And so far, I've seen very little criticism from so-called conservatives who maybe they are, maybe they aren't, but they are all aboard the Trump train. They're all there. They're fully in. And I'm like, dude, what about these points that I just pointed out? You know this. They know all this, but they are just profiting off the Trump name. That's what it's happening. They're grifting. That's what I see. That's how I see it. Maybe in the background they're actually doing some good. I don't know. But this is what I see. They're not really talking about the wall. They're only talking about how great it will be when Trump is re-elected president and what we're going to do with the deep state. All that is fine and good. Yes, we should take care of all the business that needs to be taken care of. We should have a strong economy, a good foreign policy and all that. Also, we need to take care of the culture and we need to build the wall. That's the signature promise, and he did not fulfill it. So all these conservatives grifting off of Trump, they need to be made sure to understand that this will not be allowed. This will not happen. Either they get with the program that we control, we make sure that Donald Trump actually fulfills his promises, or we have Ron DeSantis waiting to take charge. You know what? Maybe that could also be used as a tool. We make it very clear for Donald Trump. Hey, if you're not gonna do what we elect you to do, Ron DeSantis is our next guy. So you better do what we ask of you. And this rings true regardless if you think Trump should be the next president or Ron DeSantis. Doesn't matter. We both have to come together once that nominee is picked, except if it's Nikki Haley, of course, or any other neocon. That won't absolutely not do. But as long as it is a true conservative like Ron DeSantis or Donald Trump, or maybe there's some dark horse candidate I don't even know of yet that might just make a run for it. I don't know. But as long as it is somebody who we know has been tried and tested and will do the conservative movement good, then we will come together and support that candidate even if it isn't the candidate that you wanted to win. because we have, again, bigger fish to fry. And stop with the attacks around DeSantis, Donald Trump. Focus on what's important. And here's where we'll end this episode. Please leave 5 stars. And remember, share, share, share. If you want to reach out to me, please email me at politidoxy@gmail.com. You can leave a comment here on Spotify. You can listen wherever you get your podcasts, this podcast. And remember, my fellow radicals, stay political.